Here we are hiring. Um, we have touched this area. If you can um, recall the previous maybe second day, where we were talking about how companies are using, going to look at your in the interview process. They are going to use cameras maybe and look at your facial expressions and uh, your voice tone and make assessments on that about your personality, and you can now link it with the other things which you saw on day one, I think, where you know the personality, like you are introvert, extrovert, and those type of things. Even those, they are not, they don't give 100% results, but they are not really bad applications, and companies are using it. So this clip is there. I'm going to show you just a little bit of the part, and then see where we can go.
Of what facial expression is needed for any job. So applicants could be eliminated for facial expressions that have nothing to do with the
Career Review sees the challenge differently. The company says that only the data points that are relevant in predicting what matters are really considered, and that their model attempts to capture all different facial expressions that have been seen in top performers. What about an AI review of the way we express ourselves on social media? Could that be a window into our compatibility for a job?
With Deep Sense, essentially what we build this meta profile, a behavioral profile of every individual.
Amarpreet Kalkat's company is spearheading another trend in hiring, a move away from judging people based on their resumes and skills towards decisions based on people's personalities. His company, Deep Sense, uses applicants' Twitter, LinkedIn, and other social media accounts to do more than just check for questionable behavior. Deep Sense says that it runs scientifically based tests to surface people's underlying personality traits. I'm just a little skeptical that from a Twitter feed, you can determine my personality or anyone.
It's not perfect, but now let's remember, everything is relative.
And you don't need to tell people.
This is public data.
Is it legal?
Well, that is all public information. So yes, it is perfectly legal.
Is it ethical?
So that's the second question. When you're posting on Twitter, you're certainly not imagining that that information is being collected to be used against you.
So what's Deep Sense's sense of who I am?
So Jason Bellini is a person who can be a little anxious sometimes.
Yeah.
He likes to face challenges up front. That's true.
To test Deep Sense's tool, I actually did one of the personality tests. It's the one that Deep Sense used in its own benchmark testing. My results on Deep Sense were similar in 2 of the 4 categories, but in 2 others, the discrepancy is pretty wide. I just wonder how companies are going to be confident that it's a real reflection of that person's personality.
So I know that most of the times it's telling me the right thing.
Calcat says 2 Fortune 500 companies are already using Deep Sense.
Can you tell me which companies they are?
I can't share the companies. I can tell you one of them is a consulting, one of the big 5 consulting ones.
Okay. They don't
So-
want people to know that they're using your service?
It's still experimental for a lot of people.
Not a lot of transparency at this, the dawn of AI assessing job candidates. We, the public, can't see what's in the black box, nor in most cases do we know when it's analyzing us.
And it's important actually that we really stop to ask, is this working for society?
Yes, so they have this company. Maybe you would want to look at these type of companies, Deep Sense and so on, and essentially you have raised these type of concerns, like whatever we post on social media, what happens to that. And we made some comments that even if you delete it, it stays somewhere there, and companies sometimes can make money by selling those things which you might have deleted uh, from your online platforms. Now it's now you can say that, you know, ethically speaking, this is maybe wrong, and that is when you will listen to this type of clips online and listen to the experts, they are going to say that okay, ethics is questionable, but by law they mentioned that it is public data, and then a whole new debate can start, what is in public domain and what is private domain, and so on. So social media, and also one other interesting thing which they mentioned, the guy mentioned of deep sense, that two of the Fortune 500 companies are using this software. Yes. So, and they said one is consulting, big five, these PwC, EY, Deloitte, and so on. One of those companies are using it. It's quite an interesting thing to uh, reflect on. Um, Smile with your eyes: how to beat South Korea's AI hiring bots and land a job. So again, you can run some deep search on this and find out which because it's in many countries they are using these type of softwares. So because it is looking at your facial expressions, and you know, if you are just trying to give, you must have seen, like, in your life, like some people smile, their smile is very genuine, and even when you look at their eyes, they show different type of light brightness. I have seen it. I'm sure if you observe, you are also going to find. And then with some people, they are smiling, but the eyes are kind of dull. Yeah. Well, not trying to, say anything negative about anyone, but it is there are different reasons for that. uh, and uh, Now the bot, when bot is going to look at these things, then um, it's going to try to beat people who are trying to just give fake smile, which, people give in interviews and these type of settings. Yeah, keep a smiling face. We also look good when we are smiling a little bit of a smile on face makes us more attractive. So people do that. So then the how to break it, you to analyze the eyes, like smiling people, how their eyes are, collect data on that, and then the bot is of course going to look at it. And of course they said that, it's not 100%, but the guy who was interviewing, he presented himself for the analysis, and he said that half of the information at least was absolutely correct. So that is not bad, it is good. But then it can now we we can say that, talk about unethical aspect and say that this uh, but think about, because this is business management, we want to discuss business also. So from a company's perspective, if you are a big company, Fortune 500, big five, you have a lot of CVs coming in. So these type of technologies uh, you are going to use to make your to save cost, because if you hire people it's going to take more time for them to, and you will have to hire a lot of people. And yesterday's discussion should remind you that at the end of the day, I think Sinam mentioned this, that at the end of the day, it is the companies need to make money. Something along those lines she was talking about, and other friends also made those type of comments. So look into this, like what is happening, and uh, your next job interview may be with a bot, whether you realize it or not. This is again very interesting. We have already shown you the bots, how they can look exactly like human beings. Yesterday at the end, we showed some clips there. So it's very interesting thing to think about. And then application, you can now, this is just hiring example, but your job is now is to apply it to different type of business activities. Just like Fatma yesterday linked the examples with her own industry from engineering side, she gave some interesting ideas that what she's thinking, how she can apply those type of things. So that thing you need to do uh, in your time. Aftershocks and opportunities, I enjoyed this one. Future of IA, some experts are talking. If you have time, you can scan through that. And then this is a little bit of a sample I have posted for you. Like you should, I think you should look for some businesses which you are interested in, personally speaking, which are maybe of some international nature also. And then look for their AI policies. Like for example, during the sessions, one day we spoke about MasterCards. And I asked you to run some search on MasterCard and AI. And what are they doing? Actually, I think, yeah, let me tell you a little bit something on that. Like, I think 2 years ago, our university here in Jamaica, they've had some ideas that how to make the campus smart campus. And Mastercard recently launched their operations. Well, they were here also, but before I think also, but they came kind of more aggressive in the market, and university collaborated with them, and they came in house. Their top people, and they made a presentation, and in that presentation they spoke about AI, what are their future plans. Of course, that information they did not post on their website, and select few people were sitting in that meeting. I was not supposed to sit in there, of course, but my boss said that because you are interested in these type of things, so you go and sit there. So that was great opportunity, and I got chance to see what are their future agendas. So from there, I got this idea that we should look for what are these things, their like vision for the future or those type of things. So I did looked at many businesses, and from there I just said, let me post a couple of things for you. Like now you your own time, you can now click on these links. For example, Microsoft, what are the things they are doing, artificial intelligence and its role on society by Microsoft. Yes. So you don't, of course, need to read every line by line, but just scanning through this in 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever time you will have an idea what they are trying to do. And from there, you will understand that the companies like Microsoft, what is their future agenda. And then from there, you will see what skills you would want to, what is more interesting to you, and then you can prepare yourself in that. And then when you are applying in your cover note, if you are talking about the things which the company wants to do in the future, there is no way they are not going to call you for interview. It is not possible, because they are thinking about their future all the time. And when they, and not many people prepare their cover note like this, that talking about the future of the company, this is where you want to go, and this is how I am going to help you reach there, and this is how I have prepared myself in the last 1 year, 2 year. That is a very nice strategy to write your cover notes. Yes. Again, I'm not going to go through all of them, but I gave you an idea. Newsrooms, look into these things, um, um, and so on. This one is very interesting. Facebook, learning from videos, learning from videos. So data is not just the data like the numbers and so on. Learning from, this is quite recent, 2021, March 12. And how did I find this? Because I was looking for Facebook, their future in AI. What are they trying to do? Those type of searches I was running, and in that I found that. So I'm sharing my technique with you, so you can also find similar type of things based on your interest. So what they are, it is very interesting, the way they are It's a real application, and it's a short piece. It's not a long piece. Very quickly you will be able to read how they plan to learn uh, based on the videos posted on the media which they own. And you should know that Facebook is not just Facebook. There are so many other social medias which they own. I have added some supplementary stuff here for your thing. Like if let's say you are interested in communications. Yeah, you are interested in communications. Yeah. So how communications can be linked with AI? We did not really speak about communication and communication is something which is never going to go. It's not never going to die. You will be communicating in one way or another, if not human beings through machines, whatever. But communication of some sort, some level, is going to continue. So for that, it's a nice. There are 8 clips, 207 minutes. Nice little course for you, so you can just in your free time you can listen to these type of things. I think that would be nice. And then the mental health and psychiatry and those type of things are also, I think, important, as some friends have mentioned. And then this one I posted this just to give everything a balanced viewpoint, because sometimes when we are talking about AI we tend to make it a real big thing, that it is going to really take over everything and whatnot. So just to, if you got that type of idea from anything I said, just to minimize that, I posted this. So this one is going to, when
Introducing
you will
speech alone.
see this is going to balance out that idea. Really liked this one. Many friends in their reflections, particularly, they were making some concerns and their about future, and this is disturbing also. Many things they did not also uh, and like the those privacy and what will be the shape of society and impact and those type of things. So don't fear AI. It will lead to long-term job growth. So even if um, little hindrances come in the long scheme of things, things should be fine. And of course, this is alternative view, Elon Musk, and you will when you will listen to this again, it is going to counterbalance everything, because he really thinks that AI is a pretty big thing. Valenty raised hand, Sidra raised hand. You guys want to say something, or it was um,
Yeah, I raised my hand before because, like we were saying about, like if you delete something, that it's always somewhere in the internet, and I wanted
hmm,
to point out that most apps also have like a folder on the phone. So even if you deleted something, like a picture, like for Snapchat, for example, if you post something but you delete it afterwards or whatever, or you send a snap to someone else, it also saves it on your phone and in their database, so it's actually never gone.
hmm, it is never gone. Very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Mariana, I think your mic is on by mistake. Please adjust it. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about AI in Europe, and then we'll continue and go into AI in Europe. So, AI in Europe is something you have given a lot of examples yesterday, and thanks for that. Um, Many examples. So reflect on those type of examples which were given. A lot of, because many people are from Europe, so they were giving from the bar example, the application of facial recognition in bars, and then they went into grass cutting and other type of things. I don't need to repeat them. You guys should be able to think about those things. But here are some links we can quickly scan through scan through them. UNESCO, I think I have mentioned a couple of times. So you should look into that, like ethics, and they have nicely put in the information. There are a lot of news stories they keep on posting. So I think these type of resources are good for you to look at. State of AI report 2020. These type of reports, I think, must read for you. And I do understand, like, different people when they joined the course, they would come with different type of expectations, what we will cover and what we will not cover. But please bear in mind that we just had like 15 hours, and we don't have that type of luxury that we go deep into some serious type of AI and those type of things in this short period of time. But of course, if after the course you want to talk about something, we can always talk. But I'm trying to say that State of AI report 2020, these type of reports you must scan through. You're going to learn a lot from these type of reports. Um, yes, Jan, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, because you mentioned Elon Musk and artificial intelligence, he has quite interesting insights, I would say so. And especially his ambition to realize human-computer interfaces. They are quite big, I would say so. He has this project or company, Neuralink, where he's placing, yes, his like biggest success so far was last year August or something around that, where he placed an coin-sized chip in an pig to demonstrate his ambition to plan these kind of working brain to machine interfaces, and it actually worked, and they could read the brain and also give like instructions where it should go. So, and he talked like further of that, how it would be in the future that we additionally use AI for our brains, same as we use our phones right now for everything we are researching. We can access it so quickly over our phones, but we have to type it in and then read it, like do the choice. We could accelerate all that when we have a straight interface from machine to human brain. And we'll probably at some point will be realistic to have that, if we want to do that. That's the other question.
Excellent. Thanks for this contribution, Jan. You mentioned in your reflection also, I think. Yes, Jesse, please go ahead.
Yeah, about the Neuralink, it's really interesting. Like Jan said, that if we get to a point where we actually have it implemented, we kind of ascend as a species, I think, because then learning and going to school for like 12 years and stuff is going to be, in my opinion, kind of, well, not pointless, but I mean, if we have the internet integrated and we can do all kinds of stuff, we know everything by just because we have the internet in our heads and whatnot. It will surely be very interesting, or like we would have, like, learning different languages would be much easier, or because we'd have like instant translation and all that kind of stuff. So I'm following Neuralink because it's really interesting. So
definitely.
Let's see what happens.
Must. Thanks for this contribution. Yes, this now what he's saying is absolutely correct, because the education system, not talking about Finland, but because Finland is known for one of the better education systems in the world, but if you look at overall the state of education system across the globe, a lot of time is wasted. What children learn, like even with CXC, A level, O level, what they have really learned? Like, you spend one full year in one grade. At the end of the grade, what do they really learn in that grade? So it's really need to be rethought, all the education, that how the schooling is going to happen. But then again, it is very tricky, because now if you want to homeschool, then there are different type of challenges. Who is going to stay at home? And then many times people are raising kids as single family, also single parent. That again poses challenge. even if they are together, they are two different people, husband and wife, and both can have their own different way of educating the child. And quite a challenge in that. Quite a challenge. Very good, Jesse. Very good. A lot of things can be taught from here. Even someone in the audience can make a career in this, because this is never going to die. Education is going to stay there for the for the future. The way can change. So now you should now maybe think that, okay, you can think like, how we should educate the future generation when the knowledge is on the tips of their fingers. They can just you can't like just I can't just say anything wrong. I have to be careful. I make one comment, someone is going to run a Google search, understand about it, and challenge me. They're going to say, well, you are wrong, this is not what it is. Yes. So it's a different type of relationship between the course facilitator and uh, the participants. Very good, Jesse. Very thought provoking. Next one, please. Sama.
Yes. When you say summer, I couldn't recognize it because we read it in Turkish summer. So
All right, good.
okay. We talk about the face recognition in the job interview, but also I wrote in the reflection paper, but I wanted to tell about to my friends the face recognition in apps. I want to give an example from the last week I experienced. I am thinking of changing my eyeglasses, and before going to the eyeglass store, I look on the models on the website. And if you allow the website, I can also send you website smart eyeglasses if you wrote in the Google. The camera takes a face profile from different angles, and the glass, when you look at the screen, the glasses actually on your face in the website. Then you get the result. The result you says that the face, your face is oval or hurt or square, and you can see the square glasses are more suitable for you, or oval glasses more suitable for your face. I think this is a great program to which product on your face is suitable, but I am nervous about the data that the website take. Then I realized that I should clear caches and data from this website, but I think a great experience for me before going to the eyeglasses store.
Lovely, lovely, beautiful. Yes, yes, very good example. Thanks for sharing that. And not just that, we can build on that now. Like the girls, when they buy makeup, they companies have big companies have apps, which are of course AI apps on their weak AI, of course, and then on the app they can now test the makeup, how that makeup is going to look on their skin when they apply it. Now, that is amazing. So
yes.
Summer spoke about glasses. Now you can make up. This is happening. This is not future. This is happening. Just run Google search. You will find out. Clothes, how the shirt is going to look on you, how that color would look on you, all those type of things. Now we can argue that nothing beats the real experience. If you go in the store and test the glass or test the makeup or test the shirt on yourself, then nothing beats that. But it's fine. But it's a good, as Summer seconded, that this is a good way to, it saves time, it saves, you can test different things and See, and especially, you know, in COVID time, you know, you don't want to touch all different type of glasses, and you just want to go for a couple of them. So this is very good application of that. Thanks for that. Yes, Jan, you have raised your hand. I don't know if
Sorry, still from before.
no problem, no problem, no problem. Yes, yes, Kirsty, please go ahead.
I wanted to add that Vivacolor has this kind of app where you can choose your color, what you want to paint your walls, and it's making it easier to imagine, is it that color what you think about is going to look at your house or in your room, and then you can decide what color you want or what you need to do with your room. So
Yes, very good. Yeah.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And Kirsty, maybe you want to add that incident which happened on the airport, like change of air, and what was the issue with everyone, just for, if you want. If not, that's okay.
Okay. I was traveling to England, to Luton Airport 2 years ago, and I had this accident, and AA was scanning my passport, and then it started to scan my face, but it said error because I had changed my hair color and style of my hair. So the assistant came and said that, oh, that's okay, the machine doesn't recognize you. So the
Yes, very good. Yeah, so
has some kind
excellent.
of problems if women change their hair color or style.
Yeah, yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Thanks for sharing, Kirsty. So they see the applications quite varied, and then some challenges, as Kirsty mentioned. Those things can happen, but overall, there's yes, Kubra, please go ahead.
Okay, like I want to say that in the face recognition in for the job applications, I think there's a huge problem because like some people has like face defections, maybe they burned their faces or they have some kind of destruction from maybe birth. So like, but it doesn't show any compatibility for a job, I think.
Yes, Sobia, please go ahead.
Adding to the note of Cobra, also with cosmetic surgeries, the face recognition will not recognize the person.
So these are some of the challenges, but people are definitely working on them and trying to solve them and see how things can happen. These type of readings, like national strategies, action plans, I already indicated to you some time ago that you need to look into these type of readings. Also, like how UK is doing the thing, how US is doing the thing, how Germany is doing the thing, how China is doing their thing. So these are small notes here. So in your time you can look at that. These type of readings you should look at, where they are forecasting the business value of AI going forward. So they're talking about like maybe some drops will happen, but then they will increase. And then again, be mindful that not everything which is sold as AI is not really AI. Before we talk about AI in Europe, it is good to have a little bit of a global context, I think. So how artificial intelligence is transforming the world. Applications in diverse sectors, policy, regulations, ethical issues, and then regulations. So see, when people are thinking about AI and the impact on the world, these are the things they are talking about. Application in diverse sectors, we saw them yesterday. Policy, regulation, ethical issues, we have been talking about those type of things. Yes. And then you can also add like legal, well, regulation, legal can fall, and then recommendations. So based these discussions which we are having, when you will reflect on them, just like you guys have posted many recommendations in your reflections also, like what do you think, what is the way out, those type of things. So from the discussion, these type of things would come up. So from there you can, you know, look into this type of material. Like for example, one friend was talking heavily about security in her reflection yesterday. So national security, that is very important, I think, to look into. Artificial intelligence will disrupt the future of work. Are you ready or not? This type of reading and this type of shorter clips should sensitize you more on that. And then the impact is quite wide. Like what would be the one friend in their reflection? They were talking about future of wars, how the war will be fought in the future. Because you know, if you are able to shut down something from a distance, because it is run by some not human being, it is run automatically. And same is going to be true for, you know, warfare type of things. Then what is going to be the impact on that? And then what would be the impact on global treaties on that? This type of material also you should read. Maybe not everyone would be interested in weapons and those type of things, but because it is interdependent, globalized world, and it is becoming more and more interrelated. So even if the war is not going to hit your country directly, it is definitely going to have some impact on everyone. Just like, you know, COVID-19, why did it spread so fast and quickly? Because of globalization, because of trade and those type of things. Artificial intelligence in emerging markets. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that you don't have to run the search just on Google. Once you familiarize yourself with what type of companies, corporations, like, you know, UNESCO I mentioned, World Bank, IMF, these type of other UN bodies, they publish these type of papers. Yeah, trends, emerging business models. They give examples in that. They talk about future in that. They about demands, needs in that. So this type of material you should read. In last 4 days we have touched on these things, but of course we could not go more in depth in that. Finland's national AI program, or your own countries, wherever you are coming from, Turkey, Spain, Germany, wherever. So you should look into that. Some friends mentioned Finland yesterday. What are the things happening there? And in the reflections also they mentioned. So there is a lot of things which are happening, and many are in the starting phase, developing phase, not very developed, but um, should be worth looking at. Different governments on their official website, like here you are seeing Australian government website, they are posting this type of environment, this type of things. And then, you know, you can also look at these type of statistics from the budget which countries allocate for AI specifically development. That also is going to give you an idea which country, what is the, if a country is putting a lot of money for example AI development, and of course they are maybe more ready and more serious about that type of thing. uh, you can, if you are like, let's say you are a consult, you can make a consultancy career, for example, looking at artificial intelligence. And I spoke with a couple of you, and a couple of you were interested in consultancy type of arrangements going forward, because the nature of work is going to change and everyone would not want to keep a 9 to 5 or something like that job. So you can make roadmaps for different companies, like this is where you are, this is where you would want to reach. For that you should do this and then this and this and so on. Those type of roadmaps are, you can look at how other countries are making their roadmaps, and then from there you can start something and get inspired from their roadmaps and see. Here is how opinions on the impact of AI differ around the world. This is, I think, very, very important reading, and you must have realized, and I'm sure you would agree, that people differ in their opinion. You have seen in the discussion that people don't, it's not that everyone agrees on the same thing. Many things I say, people don't agree, and that is fine. There is nothing wrong in that. And many things you would say and your colleagues would not agree. So, and we are just like 40 people here. So how different countries, this statistics, this number I wanted to show you. Majority in most Asian public surveyed see AI as a good thing for society. Look into that. And then in other parts it is different. In Americas how it is, in Europe how it is. Yeah. Different countries have their own say on that. So for example, look at this. In Asia Pacific, 44% of Malay people, Malaysia, they think the development of AI is a bad thing. 44%. And in Singapore, only 16% think that that is a bad thing. Now, if you will get a chance to visit Singapore, you are going to see that how they have applied the basic weak AI in many of their businesses. So we are looking at AI role in business management. You are maybe from some developing country, like whatever, I don't want to name any country, but whatever country it is, you can look at how Singapore is implementing like basic AI features in their businesses, and then incorporate them in your own businesses. Introduce some little business in your own country where maybe AI is not so much advanced, and you see how the things are being done there, and you just bring that in your own country. Yeah. Using robots to automate many jobs humans have done in the past. Yeah, in Australia, 47% people think it is a bad thing. 47%, and Australia is not as smart people there. Yeah, but they this is what they think. Using robots to automate many jobs humans have done in the past, it's a bad thing. In Japan, only 17%. So then, when you will go in Japan, you will see this. So what type of job opportunities are there for you in Australia, and what type of job opportunities would be there for you in Japan? Just by looking at these statistics, you can. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. This is just here for you to reflect on, and then maybe find out your own country's statistics on those. They are quite elaborate. You can go deeper into the data and play with it. People globally offer mixed views of the impact of AI job automation on society. Yeah, first of all, people don't agree on the definition of AI, first thing. Yeah. So then once you don't agree on the definition of something, then everything is going to be. And then different cultures and different societies and different backgrounds and different infrastructure and different type of money, financial capital for with every country, and those type of things you would want to think about. This type of websites, Pew Research Center, you should follow this type of, like they would have a separate place for AI. You can click this and then see what are the things happening. Yeah, like for example, next decade and so on. Yeah, very nice. Regulations in select jurisdictions. I thought, because coming from Jamaica, so if you are interested, you can, here is the Jamaica link, you can look at it. But it's not just Jamaica, many other countries, maybe your countries also. Here you can know about US, Brazil, and your own countries. People are from India, Indian background are here also. Estonia is here, Finland is here, Germans are sitting in the session, and people coming from Netherlands are sitting here. So this is quite an interesting document on looking at and then this one, I think, sub-Saharan Africa. We did not get a chance to speak about this section in the 4 days, and that cannot be ignored, because you can learn a little bit about these type of technologies and then go in one of these countries where it is not a lot of advancement there, and start giving your services there, and that can be a good career. I know people who have done these type of things. Of course, you are it's a give and take in life. You're not going to get everything. If the lifestyle will be impacted, but overall it's a wonderful experience there. Okay, let's so this was a global type of context, AI and Europe. We would like to talk about, and some clips I'm going to share with you also, and then we would like to discuss a little bit, and maybe you would be already familiar with many things, because many people are from European context. How AI is advancing across the world map. This is very important to think about, because we always say that Europe is spending more time in ethics and regulations and so on. That is very good. Nothing is wrong in that, but then the price would be that maybe European countries would be a little bit behind in the race. But then there is no race. Every country has its own priorities. So this type of what US is doing, they have highlighted different things. For example, tech giants such as Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple are investing billions in AI research and development. Yeah, and we just spoke briefly about African countries, and run a search on Africa and where Facebook is entering. Just run a search. You can do it right now. African countries, Facebook and Facebook entering in African markets, and spending on technologies, artificial intelligence, and so on. Yeah. So you are going to find in which countries they are going, how much they are investing, and because there is more room for improvement there. Many things are not there, so you can very quickly, low hanging fruits you can call it, and these companies are doing that. So then that is why it is very hard to compete with these type of companies. Very hard. Extremely hard, because of the type of investments they have. UK, what are they trying to do, and France, and so on. You can look into these type of things. Very interesting information is there. So for example, French government promised to invest 1.8 billion in AI up to 2022. That's very interesting. This I found very useful, and very nicely someone has created this thing, AI strategies in the different countries, what has been happening in the past, where they are going, 2018, and so on, and different countries they have looked at. So AI of overall an overview of national AI strategy. So of course you are going to run your own searches, but I'm just sensitizing you from some of the information which maybe I liked a little bit more than other. I mentioned different type of press releases by government agencies, European Parliament debate, what are they were saying at that time. This one is a little bit old, so you can follow what they have done now in that time. Have they done something concrete since then in last 2-3 years, or they are still working on perfecting the regulations and those type of things? And from there, I think you should develop your own ideas and then submit to the print media your own ideas. What is your country doing, what they should do, what are your ideas for that, and send it to newspapers and ask them to publish. Get yourself published. A small piece, 300 for just like you reflect. But of course, your reflection is like casual. There is, I'm not looking at your structure or anything. You just saying whatever you have to say, not bothered about your format or style. I just want you to reflect and say what is coming to your mind as it is saying. But when you are writing a piece, of course, you are looking at that. So those type of things you can start putting it out, your name out there. So then you in your over a period of time, people will know in your community, in your circles, that okay, Lime is the one person, he keeps on publishing on this thing, and then people read newspapers, and you never know that someone who is working on it, he might send you an email and say, okay, you seem to have some knowledge on this, what do you think about this? And then some opportunity, job opportunity can come from there. I myself have experienced this. That is why I'm saying it. So this thing happened with me. I was writing some things in the newspaper, and of course, people were reading. I did not even know that this could happen, but I got a couple of emails after some time, and people were asking who were in bigger positions, different businesses, and they were saying, okay, we read your piece in the print media, and we would like to talk about this or that. Yeah, so don't take these type of things casually, but of course don't do it for job sake. I was not doing it for job sake. I was interested in that area, whatever I was publishing. So that is why it just things happen. Like, what I'm trying to say is that find your interest. Basically, it does not have to be AI. Whatever your interest is, find that interest first, as Carolina mentioned in detail about that in one session. So find your interest and then go after that, and then opportunities will come from that. And then in AI, various things, machine learning and so on, there are specific papers on those type of things. So before you go into something like which languages you should go and learn and what should you master and so on, you should think about that. There are other articles there, but in your own time, I think you are going to look into those. For example, look at this. Switzerland is a quite leading country in the world. They are quite rich, and so on. But here it is, PwC report: Switzerland lags behind global competitors. Yeah, why is that? A country like Switzerland, very successful country, beautiful country. What happened? What are they doing which maybe they should not do to? And then you can compare it with your country, that if a country like Switzerland is having these type of challenge, what? And then specific countries, I've already asked you to run searches on that. You can and see, a lot of countries are interested in this, businesses and society. Yeah, and that was our course, business management, AI's role on what is the impact AI is going to have on businesses, what is the impact on society. That was the overall topic or theme of our 5-day engagement. So almost every country would be interested in these type of things. So even if you have advanced knowledge, or you are whatever, wherever you are, and you think we are talking about pretty basic things, please be rest assured that You can make a very nice career in this, and what is basic for you might not be basic for many other people in other countries. I think a couple of people were raising their hands. I think Shiri raised hand, and maybe someone else also. So if you have to talk, just keep your hand raised. So whenever I am stopping, you can talk about it. Anyone wants to say something, or it's fine? Okay. So a couple of examples. Let's watch them. Switzerland, I have selected for you guys. Sweden, sorry. So let's watch.
The most cutting-edge thing about Hannes Sjöblad isn't the phone in his hand. It's the microchip actually in his hand. The tiny implant is the latest advance in a biohacking technology that is steadily becoming a part of normal life in Sweden.
We have created a new implant, which is not a chip, it's a full device where you can add different lights, different vibration, different functions. Sweden is a very tech-literate society. And I think this is the main explanation, really, why a lot of Swedes are adopting chip implants.
Swedes haven't been shy about upgrading themselves with the new version. Thousands already have microchip implants that they use in their daily lives, waving their hand to gain entrance to the gym, confirm their ID, or make payments. A short moment of pain not putting them off becoming part Swede, part machine. This event is an implant party, simply where ordinary people can show up and get a microchip embedded under their skin. The biohacking movement in Sweden is hosting them all over Europe, but it's at home where they get the most willing recipients.
I think it's really cool. You don't have to carry any keys or anything. It's just your body. In maybe 10 years, everything will be in your hand.
In Sweden, more than anywhere else, the future is already here. The national train company SJ has around 2,600 people signed up to use microchips instead of train tickets. And no need to mind the generation gap. 18-year-old Felicia and father Magnus still bear the scars of their new implants. Student Hannah Herving is also freshly chipped and now just needs to program it to open doors. Although importantly for a future career, it does already connect to her LinkedIn.
Some people say I'm mad that I don't know if it's safe and all that, but people have been putting these chips into animals for 20 years, so I'm not worried about that.
The long-term goal is for the new chips to help provide medical care in remote communities. They're already getting under the skin of the Swedes and may soon become just another normal part of modern life and of the human body. Paul Rees, Al Jazeera, Lund, Sweden.
Yeah, now think about this. The application is going to be huge, a huge application. You are now is implanted in your body. Now, what do you need? Do you need keys for your room, for your house, for your cars? No, you are traveling. Do you need to buy a ticket? Do you need to carry your cards, financial cards, bank cards, your anything? You want to log in your social media? You want to check your mails? You want to log in this session? Whatever. Whatever. This application is huge, and this is not something which people are going to do in the future. People are already doing these, and please pay attention to that part where our friend in the clip she mentioned that she's not worried about this because human beings are planting these type of things in animals for the last 20 years. Yeah, since 2000 at least, based on what she's telling us. But if you will look deep into the material, you will find out that it's even before that. These type of things are, we put it in the, if you read what type of experiments human beings do on animals, I did not touch that aspect because of various reasons, because different people from different backgrounds sitting in the session, so I did not want to disturb someone too heavily. I have already disturbed some friends by those type of male female relationships and bots and those type of things. So I did not want to like talk about animals, but you can run your search. But just if you have strong heart, only then look into that type of material. It can be very challenging, very challenging. So think about these things, the application part. And now ask yourself, you what would you think about this? Many people might think that, oh, this is, they would not want to do it, but you see other people are doing it. So over a period of time, what happens that if societies go towards what becomes more normal or what is more acceptable for most of the people, that is where societies go towards or tend to go towards. So you can think about these type of things. Yes, Shiri, please go ahead. Yes, Shiri, please.
Yeah, I have heard that like they are planning to replace these paper passports with maybe chips in near future.
Very
And
good.
maybe all of us will have the chips inside our body, so we don't need to have the paper passports. We just go and the machines or AI scan our whole body. And also maybe in 10 years they will be implanting the chips in when a baby is born, and all the information will be there inside the chip. And when we grow, information are added. So that's what I'm thinking.
Very good, excellent. Yeah, there are countries, European countries, where they start collecting data as you are a baby, and that is quite interesting because they are not spending time on doing the paperwork. Like they don't like the paperwork part, so they are going to make it. So the the application is huge. What I'm trying to say, don't look at the negative parts. We all know the negative parts what are there. I try to find out something positive from these this type of information. Yes, Lakshmi, please go ahead.
RFID tags. These are this has already been in use in hospitals for
Yeah.
babies. They are not implanting it inside the skin, but like babies get exchanged, so that's why they have to put it. And even for security, sometimes like they are in some hospitals, baby disappeared, so just to track that babies also, they put maybe they tie it in the leg or somewhere so that it can be identified. And yeah, it has a lots of and it's not necessary that we have to implant it inside the skin. We can have some kind of card or something, so that we can have our own RFID tag, like a microchip, so that we don't have to carry so many things like bank information, passport, or anything. It's just that like some people are not so accepting it, this kind of technology. Some are saying, oh, this radiation is harming people, this,
Yeah.
that. Otherwise, I think this is a very not so complicated also. It's very simple technology, but it's just because of the people are not accepting. Maybe in Sweden, like they are implanting the chips inside the skin already. So if it would be successful, then maybe Finland can have, okay, if people are not comfortable, then they can have some kind of like we have our ID card, they can put the chips in the ID card, and then that is we can use it everywhere for the payment or for identification. For like nowadays we are using app in the cell phone, then instead of that we can just have one card, then we can have access for everything from gym to to the store or anything.
Excellent, good one. Yes. So these type of, like, for example, look at this, the AI European approach to excellence and trust. So trust factor, we tried to touch on it somewhere during the discussion. Trust factor. So this, what is how they are trying to ensure that the trust is not compromised, because again, you can have all these type of technologies, but if people don't trust them, as Lakshmi is, her point is tangent to that If they don't trust, then they are not going to use it. These type of draft guidelines you should, but it's no more a draft. I think if you will look for it, they have, I think, finalized some documents. European Commission look into their ethics guideline for trustworthy AI. Yes, run a search on that and uh, read that and see if you are satisfied with those ethical guidelines. Is there anything which you would want to add to that? If there is anything you would want to add or take off for some reason, write a little piece on that, send it out in the newspaper, see if it is, can get published, and so on. So that would be very, very, very nice. And then ethical guidelines you can look into. You can compare the ethical guidelines with the US and other type of countries, and it's very interesting. You will learn a lot. Notes from the AI frontier, tackling Europe's gap in digital AI and digital transformation and AI. So I think this type of document is, I think, very important. McKinsey and Company, again, good source for this type of knowledge. How will AI affect human well-being? Of course, it is going to have some well-being impact. Um, I think I can share with you that the day before yesterday, when I was talking about um, and I think someone asked me, would I date an AI, and I said yes, I would. And I want to share something with you about that. Like in that, on that day, I got, like, I think 12, 13 friends from this session. They in their reflection, they they said that I should not maybe think about that, and it's not a good idea, and they were kind of uh, concerned. Like, this is not a good idea, and they and I understand that. We said it in a joking mood, and of course I understand the problems in that, and so on. But like majority of the people, they were like concerned, and it's not a it will have some impact and those type of things. Yeah. So that is now for all different type of AI. But just would like to uh, thank everyone who was like showing some concern on those lines. A guide to using AI in the public sector. I think you should look into this for your country. Here is for UK. So what I'm trying to say, people are working on these type of things also outside of uh, the programming and those type of things. I like this map very much. Excellent map. And then they are talking about different countries like Argentina, Australia. I'm sure you're going to find some of the countries, Denmark, for example, or what are the things they are doing here, and then you can go from here to the strategy. So even if you don't run the searches for yourself, even if you follow the website, I think you will get some ideas there. This one, I think I wanted to talk a little bit about Deloitte Central Europe CFO survey. So please pay attention to this one. Although I could talk about all the things which I posted, but in interest of time, but this one, there are a couple of things which I would want to show you maybe. For example, this one, artificial intelligence. Yeah, 64% of CFOs, financial officers, admit that the finance function in their organization is only slightly or not at all prepared for the implementation of AI solutions. 64% of CFOs. 80% of CFOs say they make little or no use of AI in managerial processes, business management. Little or no use, 80%. And so on, yeah. So these type of surveys you should definitely find time to reflect on and think about. The year before COVID, 2019, I think summer, I think I told you I got a chance to go to Europe for conferences and other activities, and there we did summer course also, this similar type of summer course, and there our school took everyone to these type of business places. So I really enjoyed going to those places. I think a couple of friends sitting in class, they also have some work experience in these type of companies. For example, Rotterdam Seaport is using AI. We went there. Here is a little bit of a link because I went in 2019, so I just ran a search at that time. But of course, if you get a chance to visit to the port, you're going to see how they are doing automation. As a matter of fact, if you look at this seaport industry, great applications of technologies are happening there. Right? For example, drone outside the water, up in the air, and drones inside drone type of technologies inside the water. Very amazing things they are doing. Then Philips was a place where I got a chance to go. I think it was in Netherlands. Went to, I think, Amsterdam or nearby. I'm forgetting now. So we went there. The top guy came in to speak on what are the things they are doing in Philips. I had a chance to interact with the people who are working there and share my knowledge and learn from them, of course. So that was very good. You should look into, I think, Philips, because in healthcare, a lot of things are doing there. As a matter of fact, they were asking me if I can, write some report for them, like what are the things they should look into going forward, what I can recommend or say to them on those lines. Of course, I had to come back and there were other activities planned after summer, so I could not do that. But I'm just sharing the thought with you that these companies are very much interested what ideas you can give them. And I'm sure through these discussions over the last 5 days, there are so many things which you can think about and then run some searches in healthcare and see, and maybe send them those type of reports when you are applying for jobs. In that you make a 5-6 page report, 2,000 words, 1,000 words, because they don't have time to read everything. Like in bullet point form, you can do that type of thing. And Volkswagen, again, we went there and so on. So what I'm saying, different companies are doing these type of things. So exciting career can be developed from there. Yes, let me take our friends. Yes, please.
Oh, it's me.
Right.
All right, if there's someone, you can go. Okay, no. Yeah, I was thinking about the chip, how useful it would be.
Yes.
Honestly, like in the time I've been traveling for so long, it has been so bad to carry my cards. I even lost my cards in Russia when I was traveling, like in my first year, and my mom almost killed me. She was like, "How are you going to lose the cards? How am I going to send you money? What are you thinking?" And it was so bad. Also here in Finland, I cut myself my cards because I was just like really, really tired of dealing with so many cards, so many crap, and so many stuff. And I really, really think that, at least for people who are traveling so much internationally like I do, and even if you have so much stuff, like I'm traveling with my whole luggage, like my whole life in my bags, then you have to carry additionally to this passport and visa and phone and money in your pocket and your identification, and it's just too much to deal with. Like, if you just could have this chip in your hands, I really need to get one of those. If my life is going to continue like this, I really need to get one of those. That would be amazing. Also, another point that I was thinking is that if like getting to the doctor as an international, it's quite more difficult, slightly, actually a bit more, because you don't speak the language. Like in Russia, I had to go to a doctor in Russian. So you guess how much I understood from that? Like probably 10% of what my diagnosis was. And like if you could get that, let's say in your own language, in your own chip, that would be amazing. I would appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
You should know where to go. Of course, when Russia, I had to also figure out where my doctor was. And oh man, like I think this would be like amazing, especially for internationals, I think, also in Finland. And anyways, it's just very, very difficult in general to set up your whole life in a moment, and you never know when you get sick, and you like, these are things that you need to do. You need to go. There's no like I need to wait until I get the paper and I know where my doctor. No, you cannot wait. And then you don't have to tell your whole history of what has happened to you, your allergies, maybe what you need to. I think coming from that would be amazing. I'm just thinking like my dream life over here. And also that it would be so yeah, life will be so much easier with this thing. All I think is how much they will steal the information, but you know, the benefit is way much bigger than the damage, I hope. So that would be good. And also I would make an extra comment for your dating life with the robot. That I think I was what really, really stopped me that day. I was thinking about, I was appreciating my friends after we had that great discussion, and I also had my big breakout on my thoughts. I was so thankful to have like real people around my life. I was thinking it's so good to see, like sometimes I don't know, when I see my friends, like I haven't been able to see all my friends. I just moved, and like I had a schedule, and I was like, okay, we're gonna meet, and then no, you know what, I'm not gonna go today. And then you never know when you're gonna see your friends, and this is I was really disappointed. I was like, you know, I moved and now I cannot see you. And then I thought, but this is part of life. Like I was so thankful to have that part of like unpredictable from people, that you never know when they're gonna show up. And you never know what they're going to think next, what they're going to do. And I thought, what if I find myself in a relationship with a robot, and then this robot is always saying, yes, Carolina, yes, you're right, you're wonderful, you always right, honey. Then what about discussions? What about fights? What about like this when you don't agree, and then you have to kind of, okay, fine. Then these kind of situations will be gone. Also, what really touched my heart was, okay, if I really want to like hear a person like when their heart is beating, then you go to bed, and then you just have a machine. Kind of I thought this would not be what I would want to see at the end of my day. A machine that is not beating their heart, and it's always telling me, yes, Carolina, you're right. You are always right, and you are happy, and all of these crappy things. I think it would be too monotonous. I think, of course, it's sometimes difficult to deal with people, but it's fun at the end. It's fun. It makes us feel something at the end: happy, angry, desperate. We want to move. I also admit I wanted to move from my dorm because I couldn't bear my roommates, but it's part of life. What if my roommates are just then nodding and saying, yeah, I like how you brush your teeth, and I like your disorder also, and I like how noisy you are. Then we never change. We never also are faced to the change of life, that we are not perfect, and we cannot have this idea in our minds that a robot is telling us all the time, yeah, you are perfect, everything you do is just amazing, and you. And yeah, and then there's no giving to this robot. How are you going to give to this robot? It knows everything. I'm gonna teach you this. I know it from the internet. I haven't even a recipe for you, and you're like, but I learned this from my mom. Shut up! I can teach you the recipe from all years. So yeah, these were my thoughts that I kept like thinking after imagining myself in this type of relationship. So give it also probably. And I am sorry, I couldn't get my camera. I was ready to
No,
be
that's
seen,
okay.
but
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, please pay attention to these. And let me tell you, Carolina, that most people agree with what you, based on the reflections I have read, most people agree with 90% and more people agree with what you are saying. But everyone has their own expression and the way they express themselves. Pay attention to this point, which Carolina mentioned about medical histories. And if you are there with one doctor and you have to change your doctor, or you are traveling, go to some other doctor, so your data is there, and then the doctor can look at your data from there. So that is quite interesting example she has given. Thanks for that. Next one.
Yes. That kind of the chips I saw in the 3 years before in my classmate in classroom. One classmate, he opened this door with this kind of chips. But this is not my point. My point is that our subject is business AI in business management, artificial
Yes.
engineering in business management. But we have been spending time in the 5 days that we are learning or knowing about the applications. But my point is that the business management has own procedures, own process, own system, and own methods. Example that the product policy like brand image, pricing policy, placement, like channel of distribution, supply chain management, then promotion activities, that kind of many things. But just only you explained, you started a little bit the customer service. So customer service is a very teeny part of the salesmanship, and salesmanship is also the part of the business management. So business management is not the how can I say the not focusing the big scenario of the business management. Because why I am asking this, because subject is the AI in business management. So in business management has the need to also the selling strategies and the marketing strategies. So my question is very specific. What are the impact of AI on business management? Please clarify.
I thought that, okay, yes, but anyways, because you are asking this, so there are different applications you are seeing here. So now you would have to link it with how the various things will be impacted by the things which we have discussed. For example, take anything which you would want to talk about, maybe supply chain management. What is supply chain management? It is from start to finish, as you are putting in the product, how you're going to make it, how you're going to source it, how you're going to sell it, all of those things. Now whatever we have discussed, try to implement in that supply chain side, that how a supply chain is going to be impacted and so on. Those are some things which you would be sending in your reflections, and people have done it. But on a side note, Uttam, I did not receive any, I don't think I received any reflection, or you have not submitted any type of coursework or something like that. So please look into OMA website, and there are some things which you need to do to pass this course. So I have not received anything. I don't know if there is any confusion or something like that. But anyways, check that out. And what people have been doing, they have been sending their reflections, and then I would be commenting a little bit on those, and they would be linking the things we discuss with the things which you are talking about. They have been doing this thing through the mechanism of email. So please check your OMA. Yes, next one, please.
Yeah, yes. My OMA is written that the AI in business management.
Yes. So I was talking about submitting the assignment. So please Please do that and link it as I explained. I think I've explained, but if there is any question, we can talk about after.
Because no, how can I say that AI application or implementation of the AI is the different sectors. Then most of the cases that you are talking or you are discussing about the medical science or the some machinery parts and the some space also some things. But question is that my question is very specific. Specific means that is the business management. So management is a very vast how can I say the planning, executing, and many processes is there. So how AI the act on the business management or in the throwing the business management. So that's my question actually, because it's related my subject.
Yes, very good question indeed. Please link with me after class and I'm going to explain you how the things we have been talking about are linked with businesses, because all the things which we have been talking about, they are in one way or another linked with businesses. So hang on, and after session stay there and I'm going to explain you how they are linked. Yes, next one.
Thank
please.
you.
No problem. Carolina has raised hand. Mariana has raised hand. Jan.
Yeah, I can say something if you don't mind. Actually,
please go ahead, Mariana. Yes, we missed you yesterday. Hope all is well. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I apologize in advance.
That's okay.
Yeah. Some things are very important. Just a second.
We understand.
Do you see me now? Yeah, I think
yes,
like that will be relevant to the comment of our previous colleague actually, and just from experience, I might say, despite how tempting and nice, visionary-wise, an AI looks like in all its aspects, yeah. I know actually how difficult in business it is to be implemented, and difficult not only in terms of actual implementation, but also bringing a business case to the senior management for that to be approved. Because I know for the fact already, and I think I've raised this one in one of my emails.
Yeah, you did. You did.
RPA or any automation is not there to fix problems. It has to, AI and any automation needs to be considered as from holistic perspective, and this would require a whole transformational approach. But it's not the technical transformation only. It is very much related to your next week's subject as well, the management of change. We need to be ready here. I hope you see me as employees to take on the benefits, and then people like me, and my job is to do the business case cash positive, so that I am approved for all those money to be spent in advance to see the result and actually the cash positive effect, I would say, looking at the long-term perspective. So it's very difficult, and it's I would say that it will be very well. The more fragmented a business area is, like you said, supply management, the more difficult it is going to be to look from the holistic perspective, because it has all the different parts. So yeah, I think it's all about the whole of the whole piece of the transformational change that people need to look at, and it is a great area for career development, I would say, as well. Yeah, but it's not something that is going to happen overnight, and also that's why it is a long-term professional career development. It's not going to happen overnight. Hopefully, we will be in a position to see the holistic result, but definitely is a bad decision to have it in pieces and to have it as a fix rather as a complete change. Hope you understand, yeah?
Oh yes, very beautifully, precisely you are able to explain the things. Thanks very much for that. And on the website, there are many examples linked with businesses. Spend some time on those websites also and see how we can, like just the ones I mentioned, Philips and Seaport, all of those are businesses. You would have to read how they are implementing. But this point, did not come in my mind. But Marina is absolutely right. Before the implementation of technology, it is the mind, you ready or not, and that is very nice point, Mariana. We thank you for that. Yes, next one, please. Jan, Lakshmi, please go ahead.
Yes, thanks. Yeah, it was a very interesting point from Uttam, also from Mariana as well, about business, AI and business management. I can really tell I'm working for SAP, and I can really see in the business process how the customers, especially like small and medium price enterprises, the small ones especially, how they benefit from AI, especially like making better business decisions, like analyzing large amounts of information, internal and external, or in general reducing costs and increasing efficiency. They like really benefit from that. So it's a big topic for sure. Also what we had already like in previous sessions, like the customer experiences, so to make more personalized interactions, that's also a major part. Yeah, I can see on my daily basis how important it is and how happy the customers are. But what Mariana said, like that's like perfectly on point. Like the decision makers, especially in small and medium price enterprises, at least in Germany, where I have some contacts on or had some contacts, like more older generation, they are not so likely to innovate their business. Even if they should, they have so much experience. It's mostly the younger ones who are not in a C-level position who would like to start that process. But the older ones, like CFOs, CEOs, or whoever's in charge, mostly are not so sure and more I don't know, like critical about implementing in general new technologies, but especially AI, even if it's very, very useful and also proven by a lot of data. So yeah, that's the first step we have to make clear, the mindset.
Beautiful, and thanks for the reflections also. I remember how you linked it with your businesses and all of those things. That was very nice, and that is the activity which you everyone was supposed to do, link it with the business side in their reflections and so on. But no problem. Yes, next one please. Lakshmi, please go ahead.
I think this subject is already on the business side, because since I came from the technology and I was thinking, it would, and later I just realized it's in the business, because if it will go towards the technology, then it would be very difficult term will come out, IoT and so many things we have to discuss, and we will not be discussing about ethics, data protection, and it's totally part of the business. And from the discussion, I have already noticed that, like it's totally, from the people are observing it from the business point of view, because nobody care about like ethics or anything in like engineering side, and they only talk about the technical aspect and the technical, whatever the things they have to use. And here we are only talking about these companies, like and hiring thing, hiring people, and all it is a part of the business. And I think this is just the introductory course maybe, and from the discussion we can already see that people are not even ready to accept. Then how, if they are not accepting, then how then they can go into the discussion? Okay, let's implement, then we will be benefited in the company from this way, because people are talking about, okay, we will be losing the job if those who are working in the management, they are so much scared about their own job being getting lost, and they are like being insecure about and it's about like people have to, if it's about the business management, then they have to think from that perspective and make the discussion on that basis, so that course flow will go on that side.
But we take, thanks Lakshmi for saying this, and thanks Mariana, but we have a friendly conversation here, so I don't mind. Anyone can come and say speak their heart out. That is absolutely fine. No problem in that. And after the session also, and after any time, I'm available to anyone who want to discuss anything with me, and maybe want to talk about some business cases in depth, and that's not a problem. Let's look at this one now, and then maybe see what we can learn.
We already know that we need to create quickly the legal space so that technology feels comfortable here.
For example, in Estonia, you can see on the streets package delivery robots. They walk here. Our people are currently learning how to live in the world where some of us are people, some of us are cars, and some of us are robots, which is a hugely valuable lesson. In the rest of the developed world, people rely on digitalized services in the private sector. In Estonia, this is also true for the government. 99% of our services are delivered online. We have given our people digital passports, digital IDs, and they can use it for all kinds of services.
Estonia might be a tiny country, but it's doing big things when it comes to bringing technology and government into lockstep. And they're calling it Estonia.
1 and 2, and 1 and 2. You're good.
You think so?
Yeah, you're natural.
All right, one sentence. What is Estonia?
I think it's an ecosystem where private and public sector both work together to providing these complex services for the people. You need both sectors to work together. It can't be only private sector or only government.
Yeah.
Whoa! Whoa!
So that sounds like the theory, right?
No, it's right. It's a practical thing. Do you know how many tax lawyers are in Estonia?
How many?
Or we can do internet voting and things like that. You basically solve
internet voting.
Yeah, voting over the internet.
Huh.
I can show you like how can I track my children at school. Here's an app. You can see my son here against the class and like top 5, so not bad.
And this is like a public school, like everyone.
Yeah, I mean it's mandatory. Every school has to have a system.
Since the days of the Soviet space program, Estonia has been a tech hub. And since their independence in 1991, technology has been baked into its institutions, especially education.
Täna me räägime sellisest asjast nagu 3D printing. Vaata, mis on kõik sellega võimalik teha. Ma saadan ringi ka käima, et saate vaadata ja annan sõbrale edasi. Ühesõnaga, et sellega on võimalik teha mustmiljon toredaid asju.
In lots of Estonian schools, there are 3D printers.
Really?
Just to print out, this is easy. There are lots of designs, but they have to design by themselves something. And this is important, to be a creator, not only a consumer.
Vaadata, et see on tema aju. See on sama kui mingi, me võtaks oma aju, võtaksid nagu pea sees, võtaks niimoodi.
So these kids designed little shapes on a computer, and now they're watching their shapes be printed on a 3D printer. This is an education that, frankly, it's hard not to be a little jealous of. They're even thinking about the bigger implications of algorithms and autonomous robots. Martin Kavetz is the country's digital advisor.
We're the first country in the world that can operate our whole sovereignty from the cloud. In case of occupation, we run it from Luxembourg.
Wow.
So if you look at Estonia and the digital society we have built, most fundamental innovations are not technological, but they are legal innovations. The idea that the digital identity is mandatory for all people. The idea that the digital signature is equal to the paper one. These are very simple, robust legal innovations.
The secret to Estonia's future-proofing is the database of personal information the government safeguards. At birth, the government issues every citizen a unique ID number. But unlike a social security number, Estonians don't mind if theirs is made public. So we're at a delivery floor in Estonia where newborns are immediately plugged into the digital society as soon as they're born. Have you guys picked out a name?
Steven.
Stephen. Oh, hi. Hey, little Stephen. So this is the ID number right here. This is Stephen's number for life.
Yeah.
There it is. And then that gets uploaded to the government database immediately?
Yes.
Wow.
Add newborn here.
Right there, boom, add
Yes.
newborn. So you just hit a plus button and that's how you add a person to the country. That's so funny. It's hard to say if US citizens would trust their government with all their secrets. But to Estonia's leadership, data is the future of personal identity. And so the basic role of government must shift to ensure data safety as much as physical safety.
All governments say we protect the data you have given to us, yet how they guarantee it? So if somebody from police is looking into my data, I will be notified and I can query why they did it.
Really?
Yes, and that guarantees me that I really, truly own my data. This is the way the digital, transparent, and honest state works.
Very interesting small piece on Estonia and the incorporation of technologies like uh, various technologies they were talking about in there, and you can link it with other things which other friends have been saying. But for example, Mariana just mentioned that not just it's not about technology more, sometimes it is more about innovation in the legal requirements. And then they mentioned in the clip that Estonians, their mindset is that they do not mind if information is made public. Yeah, that is again, their openness to change, maybe their openness to share their information. If it is made public, they don't mind it. So then the incorporation of these type of technologies in various businesses become more easy, relatively speaking. 3D printing, for example, they spoke about. Now you can run some search on it, that how 3D printing and artificial intelligence, various businesses are being used. Various businesses are using 3D printing technology and include AI in it, and how they are transforming lifestyle of different people. Someone was maybe asking in the chat that how about marketing and AI. So let me comment on that very quickly. So future of marketing, for example, in business world, how that is going to change. It has already changed, that the regular marketing degree is not enough anymore. Companies are looking not just for a bachelor's in marketing, but they should also have heavy knowledge of data sciences. Think about how uh, uh, marketing is being done in today's world. Marketing is, and I'm taking Uttam's question. I think he's very keen that I should make some links. So let me spend a moment on that. Yeah. So let's talk about it. Marketing. How are companies marketing? The traditional model of marketing is becoming redundant across different countries. Now businesses are using the platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and so on. So how do they market? I have personal experience of marketing by using these platforms. Um, you can go in the app, then you can decide which age group, exact age group you want to target, which ethnic group you want to target, what should be their education level. If you pay to Instagram, Facebook, these type of apps that you want to advertise, market your product, your service using those things, uh, you will have to pay a little bit different. And then the more you will have the budget, the more targeted type of marketing you will be able to do. If you don't market yourself using those apps, then you can look on YouTube and people will explain you how those things are marketed. So then in the business world, the marketing campaign is going to be totally different. It will people who have more money will be able to market in a more aggressive way, reach their exact targeted audience. It won't be traditional marketing techniques anyways. Knowledge of those is good, but if you want to do marketing, you will have to have some or develop apps on that, because it is artificial intelligence also, develop some type of apps. Then you will have to have some knowledge of understanding data. If not creating or cleaning the data, I'm not talking about that. Understanding data, you should be comfortable with basic tools like Excel. And let me be frank, many people, maybe you guys are, but many people who complete a bachelor's degree in marketing, they are not 100% proficient in Excel and those type of tools. Even that, forget about difficult tools like marketing through bots and so on. So, and then Facebook, how it is being run. We have established in our conversation that they are using AI for that. They are reading data. I just showed you a clip how Facebook is looking at videos, not at videos, and learning customer behavior from that. So, and then one friend mentioned that it is in earlier conversation, if you can recall, they mentioned that it is very hard to understand consumer. So for marketing, you will have to understand consumer. So all of those linkages, you will have to spend your energy in finding those links, and then you are writing your reflections, which I'm very happy with the reflections which you guys have been sending, and that has been very nice. So that is how I connect business world marketing with AI. That is my way of connecting. But feel free to connect it the way you would want to connect in your own time, please. I would like to go to the last segment of our 5-day engagement, and would like to spend some time on China. Yeah, China is again, we know that there are many things China is doing which maybe we don't like, but try to see as much as possible the positive side for them. We are going to maybe look at 3 clips, and we have 1 hour, so we should be good to go.
For decades, facial recognition has been the stuff of science fiction. Well, for many here in China, it's already becoming a part of daily life. Thanks to huge advances in artificial intelligence, people here can use their faces to log into mobile apps, access office buildings, and take money out of ATMs. At this KFC in Beijing, you can even use your face to get meal recommendations. Not all of the applications are so mundane. Police are also using the technology to shame jaywalkers and to scan crowds for persons of interest. A massive centralized database makes it possible for authorities and some private companies to identify nearly anyone by capturing their face. Access to these photos is a boon to companies like search giant Baidu, which is using them to build a range of products.
There is a data set maintained by government. Basically, that means that for almost everyone who has the ID, for everyone over 18 years old, the government will have your face in the database.
Some worry this technology could lead to serious invasions of privacy and make it easier for authorities to track political dissidents. But others see it as a powerful tool for public safety.
Not only helps to track criminals, it also helps find missing people. So it's good for the society.
Facial recognition algorithms are growing exponentially faster and more powerful, thanks to a new technology called deep learning that allows computers to mimic the human brain's ability to learn. That means they can now compensate for problems like low light and bad angles. They can also adjust for age, making it possible to identify adults from their childhood pictures. So how does it work? Using complex algorithms, facial recognition systems start out by identifying all of the faces in a given image. For each face, the algorithm measures out key data points, like the distance between the eyes or the color of the skin. They then use those measurements to create a template that can be compared against other templates in a facial database. The more data they have, the better these systems do. Hundreds of millions of social media users here upload photos every day under terms of service that basically allow tech companies to do what they want with the images. Add a vast network of surveillance cameras, and China has lots of data to feed its algorithms. There are 170 million surveillance cameras installed in China, including more than a dozen on this stretch of road behind Beijing's Forbidden City. Analysts say China plans to install 450 million new surveillance cameras by the year 2020. The massive market represented by those cameras has attracted interest from established companies and startups alike. At one facial recognition startup, SenseTime, employees' faces are scanned at the door. Inside, the company displays a system that serves up advertisements based on a person's age and gender. At a Nikon, I do like photography. Not unlike the ads in a certain Tom Cruise movie.
You could use a Guinness right about now.
The company also sells more serious tools, capable of tracking both people and objects.
This is a live feed recorded by this camera. It recognizes different attributes of people, car, or bicycles. This is actually very useful for the police department to extract information from the videos. Basically, it makes the video searchable.
Besides having access to reams of data, companies like SenseTime also benefit from China's relatively casual attitude towards privacy. In a country accustomed to government snooping, many are willing to have their faces scanned for the sake of convenience. A bigger concern is that the systems could be tricked or hacked using fake faces. Critics note that a hacked password can be changed, but everyone has just one face.
If the rectangle is green, that means it is a live people. And if the rectangle is red, it is a attack or hack, actually. When our systems first go online, we do suffer from a huge volume of a huge amount of hack. But by collecting sufficient hack data, I think the machine can tell whether it is a hack behavior or it is a true person.
Facial recognition is just one of several branches of artificial intelligence technologies that have already started to redefine what's possible in China and elsewhere. And of course, just like any technology, it's susceptible to abuse.
You have a very advanced tool, so you could use it to do good things and you could use it to do bad things, but the key is the way you choose.
Yes, so many business applications can be started from this. For example, starting a security company for the future. So security business that is not going to be done on traditional way of doing security. It would have be dependent on data collection. Now, is the society open for that type of data collection or not? China is, so they are going to maybe improve security systems in their country. They gave examples, so it's not just facial identification. It is like object identification. They gave example of cycles, like if the cycle is missing, it is an object. The systems, the cameras have identified it. Now using sophisticated tools, you can identify where that cycle is gone, and if you see it again, you can identify and catch the thief or whatever. Now there are of course some so that if people are not willing to share their data, then of course then this type of thing is not going to happen. But we just saw that even European countries like Estonia, people are like a little bit open sometimes to sharing their data and so on. This now I wanted to show you really. Will China lead the world in AI by 2030? What are the things they are doing? What are the things they are not doing? What are the things US is doing? This type of reading, you should watch. Look at this, like they have tagged every human being over here. Now you can this type business application. What is the business application of this? I can give you a couple of examples now. So for example, this is a client 11786. Yeah, this is a client 11786. So we are tracking the client. When the client goes in the grocery store, what are the things this client is buying, and then everything will go in the record, and then where we over a period of time we will know as a business that these are the things which this client prefers. So next time when we are sending out some we have some products which we think client number 11786 is going to like, we are going to target this client and send those things to them. So this will be the marketing and linking marketing business linking the aspect of marketing of business management with data and AI and similar type of technology. So this is how you would be able to apply to what we have been discussing to businesses, different type of businesses. Yeah. whoever leads in AI in 2030 will rule the world until 2100. Yeah, and this is the race. That is why China is just collecting data because they have different type of ambitions. They understand the importance of this, and same as
Well,
US
that's not
also.
from historical standpoint. That's not a big period of time. I wanted to say, first of all, and second, China are so huge in population. They better create data, well, better collect data. But I don't think that this will matter so much for small countries. I mean, I don't think it's, for smaller country, it will be difficult. I think this is the biggest challenge, actually, because not one size fits everything. So for big countries, you can have one approach, and artificial intelligence can be very fit for purpose. But for smaller countries, with specifics, either in their rules, regulations, governments, businesses, mentality, culture, whatever, it will be different.
Of course. That is why it is important to understand different type of national policies and so on. You can look at these. All of these are business applications, the different businesses, Amazon, Alphabet, Samsung, and so on. What is their R&D expenditure, for example? What are they doing? Run some searches. So there is a lot of things which you will have to do in your own time to really go in depth of what we are trying to do in our session. But please, some friends have raised their hands. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to give an example of here in the Netherlands, like from what they the video of China where they showed their locations and all, like filtered on objects and people. We have a similar system here in the Netherlands where when a criminal activity happens or whatever and the police need to follow someone or whatever, they have cameras everywhere on the street in which they can filter on people, on colors, on objects, on bicycles, in which they can follow like a specific target around, just like in the video how they had that system of like filtering of people. We have that here in Holland with objects. And same as in grocery stores, we also have a system in which they have like a log system, and like if customers come, there's like the system where they log the movement of specific people. They don't like use the data of the person itself, but they like a mapping, so then they can like use that in the businesses as well, so they can what's it called, place their like items on the right spots based on the pattern the people walk in.
Amazing. That is amazing. Like very good business application of these type of technologies. Thanks very much, Sidra, for that. Which businesses are those? What type of businesses? Some friends are asking in the chat, I think.
The like cameras for on the streets and all is strictly only for the police and the forensic departments. Like it's not for consumers and all because of the all the data that's dangerous. Yeah, it's only for the police and the forensics. And but some supermarkets, like I don't know if you're familiar, it's called Albert Heijn. They're leading a supermarket in Holland, and they have like multiple projects, and one of their projects is like the mapping for business, like consumers.
Yeah, very good. Yes, very good. And maybe there's initial stages, and over the period of time you can run some searches on them, and maybe they will grow. And as Mariana was mentioning, in different countries people will be doing different type of things there. Yes, thanks Malik. Yes. Next one, please.
Is it Leah? Do you want to share your thoughts first?
Shiri, please go ahead, because Lime is having some problem.
Okay, I just want to say, after watching this video from China, I'm just thinking about those countries like who are really lagging behind IT, like technology. And like in few years, like some of these big countries will move so forward with AI and using all of this intelligence and these things. And some other countries, like, you know, even some businesses, I'm from Nepal originally, and even some businesses or even some official like website from the government, they used to use HTTP few years back, and not using this
Okay.
HTTP as secure shell. And like us,
Okay.
or people with simple knowledge can even hack their website, and like they
Yeah,
are
yeah.
not using, and these documents, everything is, they use papers, they are not using even digital service like now. And the countries are
Yeah.
moving so forward, and maybe in next 10-20 years these countries will be lagging so behind. I'm just thinking like how they will survive in this world, like if these big companies go forward with these images, image detection, object detection, blah and blah. There will be a big gap. I'm like, after this class, I'm seeing that there will be big gap between these countries who are doing well in AI and we're not doing good in, like,
Very good, very good for pointing making us reflect on this, because you know then that would mean that businesses in different countries, that if a business is established in a country where they have these type of infrastructure and technology is easily available, and they have the skill set from the people who can work on it available in that country, that business is going to grow differently than another business which is in some other country, as she is explaining the divide, the AI divide, or whatever you want to call it. So thanks very much. Always you are taking the discussion forward, Shiri. So I thank you for that. Yes, yes, Master. Master is back. I think he's having some challenges there, but no worries. He can, when he comes back, he can maybe talk. No problem. When you come back, you can talk.
They're constantly monitored by facial recognition cameras that are able to instantly put a face to a name. Now the Chinese are also ranked, given a mark out of a possible 950 points. A score in the 700s is considered good. Around the 500 mark is not. For now, the number is a sort of bank credit rating, keeping track of everyone's spending habits.
I think being ranked is a good thing. A society has to have rules.
It forces us to be well behaved.
It may seem scary, but it's just like that here. We're used to it. And anyway, we don't have a choice.
But in an effort to keep all of its subjects in line, Beijing is taking the system a step further in 2020. It's aggregating data gathered by banks, private companies, and the state to rate if someone's a good or bad citizen.
By using the most data possible, the so-called big data, the system will play an important role in rebuilding a moral society.
The state will go over every detail of a person's life with a fine-tooth comb: their financial situation, spending habits, career, even behavior on social media. Criticizing the government online or displaying outward signs of wealth is a no-no. On the other hand, praising the party or giving blood increases your social credit. Xiao Wen Wang is a model citizen. She lives in Nanjing, a testing ground for social ranking. Married with a child, she has a job in a retirement home, no debts, and she wouldn't dream of jaywalking.
As a good citizen, I respect the rules of the road. If I didn't, I'd lose points on my social credit.
In theory, everything can be taken into account in the social score, even the most innocuous errands like supermarket shopping. When Xiao Wen Wang makes an electronic payment, her purchases tell the state a lot about her. Buying cigarettes would count against her. On the other hand, nappies show she's an attentive mother. Beer could indicate alcoholism. should be better off buying water. In this pilot city of 8 million people, there are only 18,000 model citizens. For Xiaowen Wang, there are perks to be had, such as paying half price for the bus.
I get discounts for all public services, even at museums. And the library is free for me, thanks to my score.
A good score brings benefits, but people with low scores lose rights. The cinema names and shames people considered untrustworthy, plastering their details, even their addresses, across big screens.
It's a matter of principle. Those people have to be condemned.
Those people aren't honest, so they have to pay the price.
It's only right to pay your debts. You have to blacklist those that don't.
The Supreme Court has created a blacklist for so-called bad citizens, those whose ratings have dropped to zero. On it are companies, but also 23 million people to date. Among them is this journalist Liu Hu. He got a little too close to uncovering corruption among high-profile party members. After being sued for defamation by the subject of a story he'd written, he was blacklisted. He only realized when he tried to buy a train ticket and was told he was banned from traveling.
That tells me I'm still on the blacklist.
Punished because he's been branded untrustworthy by the state.
Once you're blacklisted, you can no longer get a bank loan, start a business, buy an apartment, or even send your children to a private school.
Yu Hu is among a tiny minority of people who have dared to criticize the system, which some are calling a digital dictatorship.
I worry because I think many people like me will be deprived of individual freedoms, and all of us will live with restrictions of one kind or another.
After our meeting, Yu Hu learned that his name had been removed from the blacklist, but he still has a long way to go if he doesn't want to languish at the bottom of the social credit hierarchy.
Yeah, very, very interesting clip. And we know the negative aspects of this type of technology, but try to focus on what positive can be generated from this type of activity in a country. They were, for example, they were appreciating the citizens who are doing the things which are beneficial for the society as per the interest of the government. So that's interesting way to look at it. Good behavior.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt again. I think, well, I may be, let's say, at the end of the week, a bit emotional about it. So definitely made an impact with that course. But yeah, I wanted to say that, yeah, there should be a very smart people somewhere out there to make the impact assessment from all the aspects. We can't look at some of the things in isolation. There is always impact on one area when you develop another one, yeah, and then again to do the cost-benefit analysis, if you will. Does it worth it? It's the simplest question. And where would it? Because yeah, it's either, I put it in my comment, and it's only personal opinion, but that's, for me, that's advanced dictatorship. I really don't see this one happening anywhere in Europe anytime soon. But I absolutely believe that people in China love it. And I can understand why, yeah. I can understand why and all the benefits, but also these benefits. And no one actually really lays this one down, and it will be, yeah. I don't want to be a Chinese, I'll put it that way. No, or at least living in China. Yeah.
Well, yeah, so but think about it, Mariana and other friends. Like, we know the negatives, we know the negatives, but can we see some positive in this type of, like, what can be the benefit for the society in this? I'm sure we are smart people. We can find some positive in this also. Yes. So let's try to talk about a little bit of a positive and see what can be benefit. No one is implementing what China is doing in our countries. Just
Well, again, you have to have a smart way to manage that many people. They're close to 1 billion, I think, even if not exceeding already one. That's a lot of people. You need intelligent way to manage, absolutely. And I definitely can understand it. Again, Europe, compared to Europe, I think we're even less altogether, maybe. I don't know. I'm not good in calculating the population of Europe just by heart, yeah. But just think how many countries there are in Europe, and how many perspectives with the rules and regulations are taken into consideration and into account. And actually, this will be, I think, one of the key, well, not blocker, but delay, if you want it, just to enjoy all the advantages. Well, definitely there are, but just the people impact. Yeah.
Yes, okay. Well, I'm happy that you agreed that of course there are some benefits to this also. Yes, next one, please. Yes, Bina, Carolina, Iqlal.
Hello?
Please go ahead, Bina.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Please go ahead. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I want to add that if we are talking about countries, and because I'm from Pakistan, so it is very interesting to see, like, now there is a kind of digitalization happening in Pakistan, but of course it's in the beginning stage. For example, of course there is a biometric data, and from the camera, these kind of data. But I believe for AI and these kind of stuffs, first they have to train the people. Like, they need to educate the people in order to use those kind of facilities if government is providing them somewhere. And for using such kind of for using AI in the system has to be like very systematic and organized, and everything has to be digitalized. And I think for example, I belong to Karachi, and Karachi is a big metropolitan city. And for example, our national identity system, Nadra, they have digitalized their whole system, and system has been improved after that. And but for the AI, I think we are very far from it right now, because we have to be like more innovative in a way that our leaders and politicians, they have to accommodate the scientist. And because I have seen that if there is some project, normally in Finland, education and politics and government decisions, they go hand by hand. Like, if the government is deciding to have a metro, the research would be done in the university. So there is a collaboration. But in Pakistan, I think we need more collaboration between the engineers, politicians, and so this will help to improve. Otherwise, politicians themselves cannot decide, and they are not like good enough to do those things. That was like my instance in AI for Pakistan. What do you think?
Thanks, Ross. Oh, you're absolutely correct. You are mentioning about Nadra and those type of places. So they have done phenomenal job. They have improved a lot. The processes have streamlined a lot. It does not seem like a third world country anymore in that aspect. If you just want to talk about NIC, the card system and all of that, they are at par with any modern country. That is what I feel based on my experience also. You're right in those things, but you have to be collaborative, and that is why it is kind of tricky to go in depth into business cases, because then different the points Mariana has made some points there, other friends have made some, Lakshmi made some points on that, so we can link discussion with that. I think you are more or less right. And not just Pakistan, other countries are doing same type of things. Finland has a lot of collaboration, which you are talking about. You are talking about industry, university partnership. So research, now what is happening is that research is being conducted in universities, but it's not applied application. Yeah, and that is where, and maybe that is what Uttam was Roy. What is the name? Uttam was talking about the same thing, like, application of business. So how application is going to come? This is how it is going to come. Universities do research, and then they collaborate with industry, not just writing papers. That is not going to. That is different, a different area of application. Thanks for the point. Yes. Next one, please. Carolina, Iqlal, Master.
I can go next if Carolina has no connection or connecting problems.
Please go ahead.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Please go ahead.
So I just wanted to add on the video we watched about China, because we see a lot of problems there, and living in Europe and having the mentality and the way of thinking and adapted to the culture, we don't understand this way. But I think rather than just criticizing it, we should like see what kind of benefits there are, and not only seeing it and just trying to adapt those kind of benefits into our way of working. So you don't have to copy paste a lot of things, but just from my experience. So I part-time live in Istanbul, and there's so much traffic here, and people are driving like crazy. I mean, you just go out to the traffic and you just come back home totally stressed out and yelling to all the people because you want to teach them how to drive because they're driving crazy. But that's not the way it should be. That's not good for mental health, and nor does it make any change. And there's too less police, or I mean, I can't just depend on people doing their job right, because it's a little more relaxed compared to Germany, where you are billed because you drive wrong or you park wrong. It's not the same here. So just seeing the video and that people are like get social credit, maybe only adapting it to the traffic system would help a lot to prevent accidents and also people from driving crazy. So that also the story a colleague mentioned here about the Netherlands with the government, the police being in charge for the criminal search. So only the police will also be in charge for that. So there's no problem with data. But yeah, to just prevent it. The point I want to raise here to sum up is just to be more open-minded about things. I mean, there are certain points we always can say, data privacy isn't working or that's wrong. And I hate to criticize if I don't have a solution. And rather than criticizing, I try to just see the wide points in this circle of, I don't know, problems, just to see, okay, this is something I can adapt in a different way, just be open and shape things. I mean, we are not living in a static world. Everything is flexible and everything is dynamic. So why don't we keep this in mind when thinking about things? That's just a point I wanted to raise here. So because that's what I experienced. I did approach things statically, and I just realized I can't move forward just thinking like that, to just be more flexible and see the opportunity and just or create the opportunity if there's no opportunity in hand.
I agree with the sentiment. I think same way, Klal. Thanks for bringing to the discussion. Yes, Veena, your hand is raised. Carolina, want to go ahead?
Okay, is my mic functioning now?
Yes, please go ahead.
I was trying to fix the camera and then I screw everything up. Okay. I can share my camera. Anyways, I was thinking today of the system of China. I don't know, for some reason, it makes sense for me. I don't say that it's perfect, it's the best thing ever. Yeah, I agree with, I don't know how to pronounce her name. Iqlal said that we should be flexible because this is somehow, this has, again, something is working over there. There are so many people, and anyways, it's working. People are linked to, let's say, behave on a certain way that is good, so that they don't get bad points and they don't get banned. And let's say in some way this is controlling people. And we need this actually. We're people. We need to be controlled. Otherwise, if we're free, we we cannot say that we're really good. And what I wanted to I don't know if I can share about about God probably. But I think that it kind of relates the idea for me. I kind of started to think more about God and read in the Bible, and this kind of relates of the stories and whatever has happened. Like God is always above us, and He always controls us. Well, not really controls us, but He knows. He has all the, let's say, data about us, right? And what can we do? Like, we can just trust that He will do good with our data, that He will just guide us good with our data. And I was thinking, these people are giving their information to the government, and they just, what can they do? Like, this is what they said, that I'm afraid, but I have to go with it. Then I was thinking, these people, they have to basically trust their leaders and just trust that they will do good with their data. And that if they do wrong, okay, well, what can they do? They don't have much options. And well, yeah, I relate to this kind of feelings also. And I also think that, I don't know, for some reason, it really, really links for me to the idea of what God has done during throughout the Bible and so on, and what has happened in society. And right now I'm just like shocked to be that it's let's say somehow happening in the earth in China. Of course, this is like this is so different. We cannot say it's the same thing, but for some reason it links to me, and it really shocks me because I never thought it would be, let's say, working and also in the earth. I really, really strongly oppose dictatorship. I hate it. I hate to be told what to do, because I think that that's part of our freedom also, that we can decide, okay, I don't want you to use my data. I want my data for me, so go away. But if they don't have this freedom, it's kind of also, they are pushed and they just have to. Somehow I'm impressed to see how it works, and yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's so crazy to think about it. But somehow I do think that it has something that makes it work, and that if this person, for example, that had the bad points and it's in the blacklist, cannot travel. I was just so much thinking, what would happen? Like, this person should feel bad. I mean, with cannot travel. It's not just that we feel bad. Like, we have certain limits in which we feel bad. Like, I broke something, then I feel bad. I stay in my room. I don't buy any ice cream, or I don't buy anything that rewards me. But this person is already punished from the state, from the government. Then kind of he doesn't have this option to, okay, I feel bad. I myself give myself a punishment, but the government is already punishing me with what I like. So I'm forced to change. I'm also thinking how this could function for some reason in Colombia. People are, again, Colombia is a disaster. Not in every sense, but mostly a disaster. And I thought, okay, this probably would like keep people on their minds, probably crazy people and so many other things happening, probably under control. And let's say that this is the importance, that we try to keep society under control and that things are all functioning properly. This really contradicts the system, how it's functioning so wonderfully in Finland, where everyone has freedom. But for some reason, well, there's so many things to think about this, and also relate this to history. I think it has some type of connection that we should think farther, because as I have started to understand, also the Bible is telling us something, and I don't think it's just because of, but I think if it has a link, then we should think about it, something like this. Yeah, so that's my shocking.
Fair enough. So on a side note, something is coming in my mind. Like, let's say you are a business, and you are making a product or service, and you are using different type of technologies and so on. So think about it, how different, and this is the group you are targeting, these 37 people. Now see how they are not on same page. You have seen that very clearly on different aspects. Now, for example, things Iqlal said some things, Carolina is saying some things, Mariana is saying something, other friends are saying some other thing, I am saying some other things. Yeah, so in all of that, how to satisfy your customers and consumers, that is very interesting thing to really talk about, but maybe we will keep that for some another time. I want to go to our last clip almost, and again it is going to provoke some sentiment. So just try to the negative things, try to see the positive side. You have made the point that you don't like China. That is okay, no problem. China is not dependent on us to like them or not. They are what they are. Yeah. So let's see if there is anything which positive application we can try to maybe think about after looking at this final clip, please.
Teachers at this primary school in China know exactly when someone isn't paying attention. These headbands measure each student's level of concentration. The information is then directly sent to the teacher's computer and to parents. China has big plans to become a global leader in artificial intelligence. It has enabled a cashless economy where people make purchases with their faces. A giant network of surveillance cameras with facial recognition helps police monitor citizens. Meanwhile, some schools offer glimpses of what the future of high-tech education in the country might look like. Classrooms have robots that analyze students' health and engagement levels. Students wear uniforms with chips that track their locations. There are even surveillance cameras that monitor how often students check their phones or yawn during classes. These gadgets have alarmed Chinese netizens. But schools say it wasn't hard for them getting parental consent to enroll kids into what is one of the world's largest experiments in AI education, a program that's supposed to boost students' grades while also feeding powerful algorithms. The government has poured billions of dollars into the project, bringing together tech giants, startups, and schools. We got exclusive access to a primary school a few hours outside of Shanghai to see firsthand how AI tech is being used in the classroom. For this 5th grade class, the day begins with putting on a brain wave sensing gadget. Students then practice meditating. The device is made in China and has 3 electrodes, 2 behind the ears and 1 on the forehead. These sensors pick up electrical signals sent by neurons in the brain. The neural data is then sent in real time to the teacher's computer. So while students are solving math problems, a teacher can quickly find out who's paying attention and who's not. A report is then generated that shows how well the class was paying attention. It even details each student's concentration level at 10-minute intervals. It's then sent to a chat group for parents. The reports are detailed, but whether these devices really work and what they exactly measure isn't as clear. We were curious if the headbands could actually measure concentration, so one of our reporters tried on the device.
This is a new technology with still fairly little research behind it.
Theodore Zanto is a neuroscientist at the University of California, San Francisco. He was surprised to learn that this tech, called electroencephalography, also known as EEG, is being used in the classroom on children. It's usually used by doctors in hospitals and labs.
EEG is very susceptible to artifacts, and so if you are itchy or just a little fidgety, or the EEG wasn't set up properly so that the electrodes didn't have a good contact, affects the signal.
Despite the chances for false readings, teachers told us the headbands have forced students to become more disciplined.
就是他们的声音会比平常更响亮。
Teachers say the students now pay better attention during class, and that has made them study harder and achieve higher scores.
上课认真听讲，作业做的基本。
就是这几本毛是脑筋课，我感觉这里有个紧的。
This fifth grader, whom we caught dozing off in class, told us his parents punish him for low attention scores. And that kind of data adds a new kind of pressure for students.
想啊，如果在一次考试全班人都考了95分以上，就你考了一个85，你会不会感觉你有一种
Companies we interviewed said the data can go to government-funded research projects. We spoke to parents who were unclear about where the data ended up, and they didn't seem to care too much. Santos says there's likely no privacy protection at all.
In a classroom, if you're trying to make an assessment of an individual student, you really can't anonymize it.
Experts and citizens alike are sounding alarms about various aspects of the country's huge push into artificial intelligence. These classrooms are laboratories for future generations. And while these new tools may potentially help some 200 million students raise their grades, just how this all works out won't be apparent until they become adult citizens.
Yeah, so a very interesting application of AI. Most of people might not agree with that, but if I would not minding this technology. It depends on how you are going to use. Maybe selected for selected period of time to understand if the students are paying attention right now or not. Maybe use it for half an hour, 1 hour for selected items. Maybe to understand their aptitude, you can use this type of technology. If they are lacking in some area, this technology can help you to improve in that area, or maybe change field or something like that. When the facilitator knows that the children or students or participants are kind of a little bit bored, or they are losing attention, they can switch to some easier activity or a little playful activity or something like that, just to make it learning a little bit of a fun or something like that. So it depends on how it is being used also. This is a documentary here in the age of AI. I really enjoyed this one. It is for you to watch if you have time. In other countries also, they are using similar type of technology. This AI reads children's emotion as they learn. So it is not just controlling the children or anything, if you will, because I'm just showing you very brief clips and not going in depth. Maybe that is why you would get that type of understanding that it is controlling it. But when you will read the journal articles which explain how different lecturers apply this technology, then you will have application area. You would understand that they are really using it for the benefit of the child also. Like, what type of emotion they are feeling. Are they getting sad? Are they happy? What things how do we convey the message in when they felt happier? How did we convey the message when they did not feel happy? And over a period of time, the data will accumulate, and that data is going to help the child also to understand themselves. Going back to the question Carolina raised a couple of days ago, who am I? What is where do I want to go? Those type of debate also. So you can think about, of course, and of course, not saying that there is no negative impact. Of course, the things which would come naturally, like the pressure on the child, mental health, psychological impact, and those type of things, those things we need to take care of also. And the other things which you are typing in chat, I have no objection. Well, I'm not someone who is going to not like criticism or objection on the policies, but I'm just trying to say that don't just look at the negative side, as our friends mentioned, Iqlal and other friends mentioned that. But anyways, let's see if some friends want to make some comments. Yes, Valtiri, you are raising hand before, but we could not get you. Please go ahead.
Yep.
And
Hello,
Line, I think if
can
you
you
are
hear
back,
me?
please make your comments too. Yes, Valtiri, we can hear you.
Yeah. I would just like to add one comment to that learning gadget that the children had on their head. There is absolutely no way that that thing could help or benefit anyone ever, because that's not how humans learn. And I just absolutely cannot see any benefit using that thing. We have a really good education system in Finland, and that thing they have on their head goes against everything we have worked for in here. So emotions, emotional topic.
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, of course, there are some challenging situations in that, and with time they are going to see how the impact on the people and what happens from there. But the way I'm looking at it, I'm looking a lot of benefits. Other friends are going to say no, it's not good. And then of course, in the some middle ground can be taken. Overall, what is the how we would want to apply in business sector, what we need to apply and what we want to, because business is education is a big business throughout the world. uh, Education is a very big business. Universities are there to make money and not just educate. And then different people go for, like, for parents, from parents point of view, parents are busy and they don't have time to give to their children, and they would like some report like this, like at the end of the day, oh, was my child paying attention or not. It's a easier fix for some parents. Just like some parents, they will just give their children like tablets and phones and stuff like that, so they can play with that and they don't have to attend to their needs and so on. But what you are saying is, I'm not debating that. What Valtiri is saying it has its point, and I made my point, so it's for people to
Yeah.
see what is what. Yes, please. Yes.
It kind of feels like it's designed for robots, not for humans.
Makes sense. Thanks for the pointer. Yes.
Yeah, I would like to share like my experience when while I was working in a kindergarten in Tampere, Finland for some time. So
That's nice.
how the kids learn is like they learn how to eat, they learn how to like cross the road, they learn how to play in the sand and these kind of things, like really simple life skills. They learn the motor skills and so on. And one of my Asian parent, like after a few months, he came and told me like my daughter cannot say even the A B C Ds, though she has been here for like couple of months. So that was the expectation from Asian parent. I don't want to
Yeah,
mention the name of the country, but like,
that's
so
okay.
the
That's okay.
expectations from people are different, and how we are brought
Very,
up in different countries, and how
very,
educations are given in different countries. And I'm proud that like the education the kids get here in Finland is one of the best. That's how they
very.
say they have no pressure, like they learn freely,
Yeah,
no pressure. And that's how I wish we had this kind of things back home in Nepal. But here working in that like environment gave me like it was eye-opening and it was really good. Just wanted to
yeah.
share my
Excellent.
experience. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. And this type of, thanks very much for this commentary, Shiri. This type of commentary I would like to have in our session. We know that Shiri does not like that Chinese way which I showed you, those things. Shiri does not is not it said that he does not like it. but in a different way. He's talking about, like, he mentioned good things about Finland and negative, but he included in that different people have different way of looking at things. So yeah, parents' expectations are different. So there are some parents would they are paying to the school in other countries. They would say, well, my child is coming to you. He does not memorized any poems. He has not memorized alphabet. He has not memorized this. What is happening here? So he will not be happy. So this is very interesting take. So I think you can talk against the clip I showed you, but be creative in talking about that. Just like this beautiful way of explaining that Shiri does not support China or the clip, but is he put in the new context, that expectation. Very good, excellent. Yeah, next one, please.
Yeah, I just raised my hand, but actually, like, mostly everything was already said by Shri. I really agree that, like, Valtteri, he had like he didn't like the idea of it, but I can see at least the short-term results of such a device, that you are like pushed to concentrate more yourself. But I guess on long-term solution, that's not how children, especially, or humans in general, like, should learn. Like having this flow mood, that you are into something and forget about time. That's where you want to go and learn on your own, and not by pressure from outside because I'm punished by my parents or something. If you have this experience already in such young age, I would say that's an life-changing learning in a bad way. So you should learn to learn on your own, like with your own interests. So yeah. I can see the positive sides on short term, but I guess on long term it's not good to use, and I would never ever use that for my kids. I don't need these information, these data on my smartphone about my kids. I hope they learn on their own.
Beautiful. This is the type of commentary, like, different. Yes, Mona, please go ahead.
Hey, I've been quiet today because I'm a bit shocked. First, I'm like, wow, they have all kind of stuff, and then like, what? So I agree with Valtteri and Shrey and Jan about those things, and just maybe because I have kids, I can just imagine that they have, when they are stressed and nothing doesn't, stay in your head, and it's the same thing with me. And if you have something on your head that is measuring how you're doing, it's not helping. And I was shocked also about the blacklist that they were showing. I don't know, I didn't hear how you can get, back to the normal person and good person, or did they even tell? I just, do they have that kind of list at school too, where in a sports gym, and you're playing basketball, and those not that good ones are in there, and no one doesn't pick them, or what? Because they can't concentrate and they are not so clever.
Yeah.
Don't they have in China those, like they have in US and in Finland and probably all over the world, those like ADHD problems and stuff, because all those kids are like really forgiven. What's the unohtaa? They have just left those kids like they can't even live their lives. They can't, or any one of those can't be like a kids anymore. Like the Shrey was saying that in Finland they can play in the sandbox and stuff like that. Yeah, because they're kids. It's their job. So yeah.
Fair enough. Yes, next one. Sinam, we're going to take Sinam, please. Yes, please go ahead, Sinam.
Actually, I just want to add a short thing to this debate.
Actually, all of this thing depends on the culture, because our cultures are different. Chinese culture is totally different. Maybe if I am grown in China, then these improvements maybe seems to me normal. I don't know, and maybe they get motivated if these things are applying to them, or maybe they feel like discipline in this system, and they how can I say, they find a motivation to work or to study. But in my country, at least we need a free time, we need enjoy in our school, otherwise we feel pressure and we lose our motivation. But I think the Chinese culture is totally different. Facial recognition, AI, or all these things depend on culture, I think.
Beautiful, absolutely. Very good way to wind up what we have to say. Iqlal, I'm going to take you and you will be the last one. And other friends, I can't take you right now. You can make your comments in the chat. We need to close. So Iqlal, last
Yeah.
person. Please go
Okay,
ahead.
I will do my comment. So I didn't watch the whole video because I had Wi-Fi connection issues and I didn't hear all the previous comments. But the one I wanted to mention is about, I saw the clip with the school kids, and I think the purpose is to improve better learning and that everyone is smart enough or good enough, competitive in the environment. But the problem is, that's my own perspective view, not non-depending on any culture. You can't be forced to learn, and even though you get the best grades because you're forced, or get less tutoring or this extra class, that won't make the same as if you have purpose and passion to do so. Because I see this a lot in university, that people are just pushing hard to get through the classes, and they make it at the end, they get their degree, but I don't know if they're passionate enough in order to develop
Beautiful.
something
Beautiful.
that's really good.
Beautiful, and I think that is the
You lose your passion even in work environment. When you start passionate, you lose it after 3 years, and you have to re-educate yourself by your own initiative. So I think that should be the case, that the students and children learn this in an early age, so they get this idea of continuous learning and development in their first years. Not that we now see in the workplace with CEOs that don't want to educate themselves, because that's the problem. They were forced, or I don't know how they got to this position, but they for sure don't have this ideology in mind that they should rethink things they did in the past.
beautiful, and I think that would be the very nice way to conclude whatever we wanted to say today. Of course, everyone has their different point of view on these type of things, and that is perfectly fine. It is just, try to expose you with different things. And what our last friend is saying, passion, purpose, very go deep, and a very nice way to reflect on that. Thanks very much for a wonderful week. I enjoyed it. I hope you also enjoyed and learned a thing or two. If you want to talk about anything, I will stay here after the session for some time, or you can write me email or something, whatever you prefer. This is the clip I want to end with. Robotics, how far they have gone. This robot is available in the market to buy, so anyone who has money, they can buy. I think they one or two copies, the company is willing to sell, not to anyone. You have to have links also, not just the money. So with the links, with the right network, and with the money, the company is willing to sell this product. So have a look the competency of robots which are available in the market, and then think that if the artificial intelligence can be linked with this and other type of technologies, and then link with business applications, sky is the limit. So this is how we are going to end our engagement. Thank you very much again. Thanks everyone. Cheers.
Yeah, he's still there, so you can.
Are you still there, sir?
Yes, Sidra, what's up? If
Yeah,
maybe should ask a question through email if it is something to do with assignments.
yeah, I had, yeah, I can ask through email then. All right.
They asked through email because for various reasons. Yes.
Yes, all right. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Have a nice day.
You too, Sidra, and everyone. Have a nice evening.